Hello everyone, welcome to my channel again. In this video, I will provide a summary of the engaging, comprehensive, and insightful summary of Haman as planned to destroy the Jews in the Persian Empire and how it dramatically backfired as recorded in the book of Esther. This is a classic example of back-to-sender case when God can turn the evil plan against us. His return to strike the sender, granting us absolute victory. Follow me. Let's dive into the story. Let's look at the historical background. The story unfolds during the reign of King Xerxes I, or Ahasuerus of Persia, around 483 BC. After the Babylonian exile, many Jews remained scattered throughout the vast Persian Empire. The Jews lived under foreign rule, but maintained their distinct faith and customs, which often brought them into conflict with powerful officials in their host country. This story is the origin of the Jewish festival of Purim, a celebration of deliverance from a plotted genocide. Here is the timeline of events. 1. Queen Vashti deposed. Esther 1. King Xerxes holds a grand feast. When Queen Vashti refuses to appear, she is removed from her royal position. Esther 1 verse 10 to 22. 2. Esther becomes queen. Esther to Esther, a beautiful Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai, is chosen as queen, but keeps her Jewish identity a guided secret. Esther to verse 17. 3. Haman's rise to power. Esther 3 verse 1. Haman, an Agagite, likely a descendant of the Amalekites, ancient enemies of Israel, is promoted to the highest position under the king. 4. Mordecai refuses to bow. Esther 3 verses 2 to 4. Mordecai refuses to bow to Haman, citing his Jewish faith, enraging Haman. 5. Haman's plot. Esther 3 verse 5 to 15. Haman persuades Xerxes to issue a royal decree to annihilate all Jews in the empire. He casts lots to choose the date to implement it, the 13th day of Adar, or February 6. Esther's courageous intervention. Esther 4 to 7. Mordecai urges Esther to risk her life by approaching the king. She famously replies, "If I perish, I perish." Esther 4 verse 16. Esther invites Xerxes and Haman to banquets, where she reveals Haman's plot. 7. Haman's downfall. Esther 7 verses 9 to 10. In a shocking twist, the king orders Haman to be hanged on the very gallows he built for Mordecai. 8. The Jews delivered. Esther 8 and 9. The king issues a counter decree allowing the Jews to defend themselves. They triumph over their enemies, and Purim is instituted as an annual celebration in remembrance of this event. What is the core message in the story? At its heart, the story proclaims God's hidden hand at work, protecting his people even in exile. Though God's name is never explicitly mentioned in Esther, his providence is undeniable. The reversal of fate shows that no scheme could thwart his promises and plans. Whatever evil plans the enemy has for you will return to be reversed to the enemy by the hands of God. The key verse here is, "And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." Esther 4 verse 14. How relevant is this to us today? Esther's story remains timeless and relevant in our lives today. It speaks to courage in the face of injustice, even when it demands personal sacrifice. It reminds us that evil plots and hatred can be turned on their heads by faith and wise action. It demonstrates that God can use ordinary people in unexpected places to accomplish extraordinary deliverance. What lessons can we learn from this story? 1. Stand for what is right, no matter the cost. Esther risked her life to intercede, a model of bravery and selflessness. 2. Pride and hatred destroy the plotter. Haman's pride and bitterness ensnared him. Proverbs 16 verse 18.3. God's providence is at work even when unseen. Even in a foreign land under a pagan king, God protected his people. 4. Celebrate deliverance and remember your history. Purim is still observed today, celebrating God's faithfulness through generations. In summary, the story of Haman's failed plot reminds us that injustice and hatred will never have the final word. When courageous people stand up for truth and trust in divine providence, what was meant for evil can be turned to good. The plans of the enemy will backfire and sent back to the sender by the power of Jesus Christ. So, like Esther, may we find the courage to stand for such a time as this. This story gives us the confidence that God will always protect his own, fight their battles, and fulfill his promises by all means. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. This will help my channel grow and create similar informative videos like this one. Thank you and goodbye.